After being away since 1996, Formula One returns to Portugal at a new circuit, not too dissimilar to the old Estoril circuit. Welcome to Portimao for the Circuit of the Algarve and the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. Formula One heads back to Portugal for the first time since 1996. We're at the Circuit of the Algarve in Portimao. Just 6 races remain then on this redesigned 2020 calendar. We're in the middle of a run which takes us to Grand Prix that either have never been on the calendar or haven't been for many years. This weekend, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next week, a 2-day event at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Then we take a break before Turkey rejoins for the first time since 2011. And then in late November, we're in Bahrain. A week later, on the outer course for the Sakhir Grand Prix. And the season rounds out on the 13th of December in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship by 69 points after Valtteri Bottas failed to finish last weekend's Eiffel Grand Prix. He's now in a battle with Max Verstappen. In terms of the midfield teams, a podium for Daniel Ricciardo has promoted him to 4th place. The battle between him, Perez, Norris, Albon, Leclerc and Stroll and Gasly is still very much up for grabs. On the second half of the page, the battle could still include Carlos Sainz, only 2 points away from Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon in sort of on a midfield battle of his own, Sebastian Vettel just 17 points to his name, failing to score last time out in Eiffel as well. From Danny Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg now on 10 points, Giovinazzi 3, Raikkonen on 2, the same as Romain Grosjean, who has finally scored points this year. No points on the board still though for Nicholas Latifi or George Russell. Just 6 races remain then on this redesigned 2020 calendar. We're in the middle of a run which takes us to Grand Prix that either have never been on the calendar or haven't been for many years. This weekend, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next week, a 2-day event at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Then we take a break before Turkey rejoins for the first time since 2011. And then in late November, we're in Bahrain. A week later, on the outer course for the Sakhir Grand Prix. And the season rounds out on the 13th of December in Abu Dhabi. For the first time since 1996, it's the Portuguese Grand Prix. And we come to you from the Circuit of the Algarve. Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining us for the weekend preview for this weekend's race. Once again, we are live all weekend long here on YouTube. Ian Birch will be joining me for coverage of practice, qualifying and the race. Megan Birch not with us this weekend. This is one of her designated weekends off, but don't worry, she'll be back with us for the 2-day race event at Imola in just 7 days' time. But this weekend is even more exciting because it started off with an interesting note. First of all, the confirmation that Lance Stroll did in fact have COVID-19 last time out at the Eiffel Grand Prix, but it also starts off with a different tone. And this was the fact that both Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen have announced that they will not, repeat, not be driving for Haas in 2021. Now, we shall begin with Romain Grosjean, who put a post on his Facebook page this morning saying, the last chapter is closed. The last chapter is closed and the book is finished. I have been with Haas F1 team since day one, 5 years during which we went through highs and lows, scored 110 points in 92 races, but the journey was worth it. I've learned a lot, improved to a better driver as well as a better man. I hope I've also helped people in the team to improve themselves. This is probably my biggest pride, more than any of the crazy first races in 2016 or the P4 at the Austrian Grand Prix in 2018. I wish the team all the best for the future, Romain. And then the picture just saying the end. Now, we've been saying for the majority of this season that we expected Romain Grosjean not to be in Formula 1 next year, but the thing that we didn't expect was Kevin Magnussen to announce. We didn't expect that both of the Haas drivers would be leaving the team, but Magnussen, just a few moments later, published, "Hi everyone, the 2020 Formula 1 season will be my last with Haas F1 team. I've had a great time with the team for 4 years, and I look back at a great journey. Being part of a brand new team has been challenging, that I have been thoroughly enjoyed as well, and it has brought me a huge amount of experience that has helped me grow and develop as a racing driver. I would like to thank Gene, Gunther and all of the race team for their loyalty and trust in me over the past 4 years. I am still working on my plans for the future, which I will announce in due course." That's interesting. There are 6 races to do this season, and I'm determined to give my all to finish off on a high. Thank you all for your support. Now, that's interesting as well, because the rumour circulating is that Romain Grosjean had a test with Mahindra for the Formula E team, so he could be going there for the 2020-2021 Formula E season that kicks off actually in January with a doubleheader in Santiago before going off to Saudi Arabia in February for a doubleheader. That was announced in the past week. But this looks to me like we're going to see 2 different drivers, not only at Haas, but probably 2 different drivers in Formula 1. Now, Sergio Perez was heavily linked to a move to Williams to replace George Russell. Russell, however, has not neither confirmed or denied he's leaving the team, but I don't think he is. Personally, I could see Sergio Perez ending up replacing Kimi Raikkonen at Alfa Romeo alongside either Callum Ilott or Robert Schwartzman. And going over to Haas, well, Nikita Mazepin and his father have been linked with a move there, but I think the other driver is almost certainly going to be Mick Schumacher. He's the current F2 leader in the championship and could win the title in Abu Dhabi. Predicted it's going to be him. I can't see anything else around it. But moving into this weekend, we must talk about the different story as well. And that was that at the last Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, the Eiffel Grand Prix, the fact that Lance Stroll, even though he was reported to us not to have the COVID-19 virus, he was actually tested positive when he returned to his home country and his own home. So he had to quarantine for the standard 14 days, or sorry, the 10 days, and he's back now this weekend feeling fit. But Nico Hülkenberg is here at the circuit and standing by if he needs to jump in the car if Lance is unwell. So that's all you caught up with what's happened this weekend. Let's say hello to this Eiffel circuit. Sorry, to this Portimao circuit in the Algarve. We move away from the Nürburgring for the Eiffel Grand Prix to Portugal for a whole new experience. And luckily, thanks to Project Cars, we can have a look around this circuit of the Algarve. Let's take a look with James Hinchcliffe's IndyCar. Yeah, it's the closest thing we could get. But let's take a look around this Algarve with James Hinchcliffe's car on Project Cars. Let's take a look at the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve, or to me and you, Portimao in Portugal. The first time the race has been held here for Formula 1, and the first time in Portugal since 1996. Riding on board in IndyCar with James Hinchcliffe down towards turn number 1, a quick flick to the right before a longer little straight into turn 2 and turn 3. Heavy on the brakes as you begin to go uphill now. Control the wheel of the slide coming out, a blind apex to turn 4 as you run down to the very long hairpin turn number 5, past the hotel on your left, downhill braking zone. Be careful not to unload the front left tyre and lock up. Run deep into the hairpin, get a good exit speed as you run up now towards the kink at turn 7. Double apex right now for turn 7 and 8. Quite similar to what we see at turn 1 and 2. Easy to have the car understeer. Uphill now towards turn number 8. It's a quick kick to the left-hand side. Another blind apex before turn 10 and 11. Hard now on the brakes into double barrel corner. Drop down the hill towards turns 12 and 13 on the track. Again, it is double barreled, hard to see with a blind apex. Hug the inside line. Now you can get the power on as you drop downhill through the last corner on the track. Full throttle, full power, uphill now. The long drag, the only DRS detection zone on the track. Full power, fling the car to the right and hope for the best as you're onto the start-finish straight, long in the DRS zone and across the line to complete the lap of Portimao or the Circuit of the Algarve. Okay, so here's your coverage details. We're live tomorrow on Friday for first practice, getting underway at 10:50 UK time and European time. This is the first time in history for broadcasting Formula One that times in Europe are identical to times in the UK. So if you're watching in Europe, we are on air at 10:55 in the morning. In the morning for the race, and also at 12:45, I want to say, for the main race on Sunday, but times TBC, depending on what happens. But yeah, Ian Birch will join me in the commentary box tomorrow for first practice. Thank you very much for watching today. It's going to be a cracker. Join us tomorrow for practice 1 and practice 2 from the first Portuguese Grand Prix since 1996. Bye for now.